He'll be waving goodbye to his job soon, but the ability to decide who should replace European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker has eluded the European Union leaders at their summit in Brussels.
We need more time to discuss the whole landscape, and this is why we will go back to this issue at the end of June. And today is too early to prejudge names and the posts.
The leaders will meet again on June the 30th to continue the negotiations. But while the race for the EU's top job will be vital for the European Union for the next 5 years, there's also been pressing issues of the day for the leaders to discuss here at the summit. With Turkey drilling for oil in what the EU considers to be the waters of member state Cyprus, the leaders opened the door for targeted sanctions against Ankara. They say Turkey's actions are illegal and will cause serious damage to relations with the EU. And leaders agreed that sanctions against Russia over the annexation of Crimea are to be extended for another 6 months. Despite pressure from the UN and a visual protest in Brussels this week, the EU couldn't fully commit to reaching net zero emissions by 2050, risking the collapse of the Paris Climate Agreement. Poland, the Czech Republic, Hungary and Estonia held up a commitment. Warsaw especially is worried about the effect on Poland's coal-producing regions.
Today, there are 24 member states in favour of the goal of carbon neutrality by 2050. So when we fight, we move forward, we expand the club, which gives credibility to our commitment to the Paris Agreement. The implementation of the Paris Agreement is absolutely essential.
The two-day summit continues with the leaders turning their focus to Brexit and the future of the single currency Eurozone. Jack Parrock, Euronews, Brussels.
Well, there was something of an end-of-term atmosphere at Jean-Claude Juncker's press conference at the end of day one in Brussels.
I noted with a certain pleasure, amusement, satisfaction, yes, happiness, that it's not easy to replace me.
Well, for the latest summit news, I'm joined from Brussels by Euronews political editor Darren McCaffrey. Morning to you, Darren. In talking about who's going to take that top job, the French President Emmanuel Macron said that there was no majority for any of the candidates presented. When it comes to kind of the European front-runner Manfred Weber, it's going to be disappointing for him. Is that the end of his hopes?
I'm going to stick my neck out here, Rosie, and say that it almost certainly is, but he's not in some ways politically dead yet. There is still hope that somehow his bid to become Commission President could be resurrected. But certainly when you listen to Emmanuel Macron, the French President, he made it pretty clear last night that Manfred Weber is not going to get this job, simply because he argues that not only is there not agreement amongst the EU 28 on this, amongst EU leaders, but also not in the European Parliament either. And so in those circumstances, he thinks it is not very likely that Manfred Weber will get the job. In saying that, you listen to people like Angela Merkel and Mark Rutte. They're making clear that this is a half-time score draw at the moment. And actually, because Parliament and indeed the Council can't unite around anyone, in the end, actually they may be left with Manfred Weber. But these are intractable talks that are likely to carry on quite intensively over the next couple of days before that next Council summit at the end of next week. And it is because they have to take into effect so many factors, Rosie, not just which political party the candidate may well come from, but indeed their nationality, the gender balance when it comes to other roles, and the support they can hold, and their ambition, their political programme that might key with what the EU leaders want to see. No easy task at all.
Day two of the summit is about to get underway. What can we expect?
Well, an awful lot of focus on the Eurozone. There is a meeting of the 27 this morning focusing on what we're told is budgetary instrument for convergence and competitiveness. What does all that mean? EU jargon. Essentially, it boils down to trying to work on a budget for the Eurozone so that they can deal with a potential another Eurozone crisis in the future. Now, at the moment, talks are somewhat stalled on that, or at least in terms of the size of the budget to deal with any future Eurozone crisis. This is an ongoing discussion about just how much and how willing the other non-Eurozone countries are willing to contribute to that. And of course, there is this vexed issue of Brexit. Quite notable that for quite some time this is the first EU summit not to be dominated by Brexit. It is meant to be Theresa May's last one, though she's got another one to look forward to next Sunday. It is simply taking stock on that issue of Brexit. Everyone here braced for the blonde bombshell of Boris Johnson to hit Brussels in the autumn, when those Brexit talks will certainly crank up again.